ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Carolina will play tonight for the fourth straight game without their star linebacker Luke Kuechly. Did clear the concussion protocol over the weekend, but he is not going to play tonight. No decision has been made as to whether or not he will play in their final two games of the season. Washington won the toss and deferred, so Carolina will receive the opening kickoff from Dustin Hopkins. And we're underway. Fozzie Whitaker heading in the wrong direction. It's a touchback, and they'll start from the 25-yard line. Led by Cam Newton, just 26th in the NFL in passer rating. Last year, in a win over the Redskins in November in Charlotte, he set a career high and tied the franchise record with 5 touchdown passes. They routed the Redskins 44-16. On their way to the Super Bowl. It's been a rough year for Cam Newton. He's completed under 50% of his passes in each of the last 4 games. High formation behind him with Jonathan Stewart, the tailback, and he gets the call and takes it out to the 30 for a gain of 5.
Go back to Cam Newton. He's beat up. Had a concussion. He missed our game on Monday Night Football earlier. He has a sore right shoulder. They gave him an MRI on the shoulder. Keep an eye on that tonight. And he has really struggled with the blitz. And he's been blitzed more than any quarterback that I've seen all year.
See how the right shoulder operates with his first throw. Wide open receiver is Greg Olsen. Well, you mentioned prior to the game, Washington struggles to cover tight ends, and Carolina wastes no time going to their outstanding tight end for a 31-yard gain.
Well, there's no pass rush whatsoever. You're going to see Olsen on a deep cross, and Cam Newton can stand there, hits 3 times. He's going to hit all of these.
Josh Norman made the tackle. The Panthers already to the Redskins' 39-yard line. After the play fake, a strike for another first down to Ted Ginn Jr. at the 21. And Josh Norman busy early against his former mates. That's his second tackle in as many plays, a gain of 18.
A lot of these are running plays, and they just read the linebacker, and Mason Foster steps up, and they plug the slant to Ted Ginn. And once again, the Redskin defense is reeling.
And the inside handoff to Stewart. And the ball came out at the end of the play. Crowd wants it ruled a fumble. It will not be.
This Redskin defense, I believe 3 weeks in a row, has given up an opening score to their opponent. Last week, Philadelphia. Ball clearly out.
They got it back. Dante Whitner popped it out for Washington. 2nd and 6. Carolina in the red zone. Again, the fake to Stewart. And the slant not complete to Devin Funchess with Quentin Dunbar covering for the Redskins.
So much conflict that Cam Newton creates in the red zone. 48 rushing touchdowns. And they're oftentimes in a 4-down situation because of Newton. But since he's been a Carolina Panther in his 5 seasons, they are always in the top of the league in the red zone.
And again this year, despite the disappointing season overall, Fozzie Whitaker is their 3rd down back. Good in pass protection. They might need him to block. He does not stay in the block against the blitz. And it's thrown to the goal line and knocked down by Bashad Breeland. Again intended for Greg Olsen.
Well, that time it was an all-out blitz. I thought for sure Newton would work Norman against Benjamin. Norman one-on-one with no help against Benjamin, and Cam worked the other way. And you're going to see Olsen to the corner, and that's Bashad Breeland, who has become a reliable nickelback in the slot. Here's Gano.
Former Redskin Graham Gano will try a 35-yard field goal with Washington 2009 through 2011. 4 for 4 last week in their win against San Diego, and overall he's now made 11 straight field goals. Good start on the road for Cam Newton and the Panthers. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And by NFLshop.com. Get free shipping on orders today at the official store of the NFL. Chilly night in our nation's capital, 32 degrees at kickoff. Our coverage tonight from Skycam, brought to you by American Express. Kirk Cousins and the Redskins getting ready to come on offense for the first time. Carolina a field goal on the first possession of the game, and Graham Gano will kick off. He has led the NFL in touchback percentage since 2013. 74% of his kickoffs since then have gone to touchbacks, and this one will as well, as Chris Thompson takes a knee. So here comes Kirk Cousins. He set the Redskins single season passing yardage mark last year at 4166, and he'll likely break that tonight. 4,045 passing yards for the 28-year-old out of Michigan State. Making his 39th NFL start. A win tonight would get him back to 500 for his career. He's 18, 19, and 1. Quick set, dangerous throw to the near sideline for Vernon Davis, and well covered by James Bradbury, a rookie who's gotten better as the season's gone along.
I think continuity has helped Cousins. It's his third year in Jay Gruden's system, his second as a starter. You're going to see, I think, a lot more command of the offense, and he's seeing it a lot quicker. His pre-snap recognition have allowed him to become a much quicker decision maker.
Chris Thompson spins out to the 31. A gain of 6. Trey Boston, one of the Carolina safeties, made the tackle. Washington third in the league in offense, total yardage per game, behind New Orleans and Atlanta. Robert Kelly, the rookie out of Tulane, has become their featured running back. Coach told you about the weapons at the wide receiver and tight end spots, and Jay Gruden says Trent Williams is the best left tackle he's ever been around, and it isn't close. Mammoth man at 6'5", over 320 pounds. Cousins out wide for Deshaun Jackson, and incomplete, with Darrell Worley, another rookie, in coverage. Third-round pick out of West Virginia.
Man-to-man coverage, and Cousins misses Jackson in the flat. Surprised he didn't look at Jordan Reed that time. One-on-one with safety man Kurt Coleman.
Ted Ginn back for the punt, and Tress Way. Dangerous return man. 4 career punt returns for a touchdown. Ginn started toward the far side of the field, thought better of it, and got bounced out of bounds along the near sideline, shy of the 30-yard line. Tackled by Houston Bates. 45-yard punt, a return of 3. Last season, the Carolina Panthers +20 led the league in turnover differential. Only Buffalo averaged more rushing yards per game. This year, -2 for the Panthers, and the rushing yards way down. Cam Newton as the MVP, 35 touchdown passes this year, 15. His rushing yards way down. Just some of the reasons why Carolina went from 15-1 a year ago. Lost with Denver in the Super Bowl to 5-8 this year for Ron Rivera, and Coach, you hit on one as well. 5 losses, 5 of the 8 by 3 points or less, starting from opening night when they lost to Denver by a point. Cam Newton decides to take it down, slides down just across the line of scrimmage with Quentin Dunbar in pursuit. Here's the Carolina offense. Another issue they've had all season long. The offensive line. Injuries up front. Michael Orr, their starting left tackles, missed most of the year with a concussion. Ryan Khalil, the center, has also been out for most of the year. And Newton under pressure from Ryan Kerrigan. The ball's out, and no signal yet that it was an incomplete pass, and now they're ruling it incomplete, and Newton already playing with that sore right shoulder, has his right arm dangling by his side.
A lot of people have questioned his accuracy this year, down to 53%. A lot of it has to do with just being beat up. He's taken way too many hits. Kerrigan against Trey Turner punishes Newton. Right on that right shoulder. He had an MRI on that coming in here before the game. You don't want to see that, and I think they're going to check on Newton.
As they line up across the line of scrimmage, he's walking very slowly toward the sideline. Panthers have taken a timeout in concern for Ron Rivera. We watched Newton warm up, and there were several times during the warm-up today that he was swinging his right arm around as if his shoulder really was problematic. Here's a look at some video from pregame. He was obviously in discomfort. Lisa?
Yes, Sean, well, we could see that, and it was obvious to us, so I went out and spoke to Ron Rivera during the warm-ups, and I asked him if everything was okay with Cam, and he said he was not aware of any problem at all. I said, well, he seems to be grimacing with that right shoulder, and he said, you know what, I have not been told about any problem. He says, as a matter of fact, Cam threw the ball very well yesterday, so it was news to him that Cam was having a problem this evening. Sean.
All right, Lisa, thanks. Perhaps Ron Rivera was told now by Cam that he's not feeling well. When we spoke with Cam last night, he said he thought the shoulder was fine. Chilly night. Perhaps that's making it tough to get loose. Stewart in trouble and dumped back at the 21-yard line. Chris Baker with the play for the Redskins defense.
That's what this Redskin defense has to do on third down. They got to get off the field, and they got to get some pressure inside, and Chris Baker is the man to do it. That time on a trap play, he read it beautifully, and here's Jamison Crowder, a man that is very dangerous. He took one back 85 yards earlier against the Ravens.
He's the leading punt returner in the NFL. And he decides to field it on a hop. And he brought it back to the 37-yard line. Corey Brown made the tackle. 45-yard punt, 5-yard return. Concern for Cam Newton on the Carolina sideline. Next week, Monday Night Football, a matchup with big-time playoff implications. The 9-5 Lions in Dallas to take on Dak Prescott and the 12-2 Cowboys. Boy, was he magnificent last night in their win against Tampa Bay. That's 8:15 Eastern Time on ESPN. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. 3-0 Carolina, 1st and 10 Washington from its own 37. And Robert Kelly carries for a yard. Taken down by Kurt Coleman. Coach Robert Kelly, one of the great stories in the league this year. Undrafted rookie out of Tulane.
Very good north-south back. Surprising production. And he's protected the ball, something Matt Jones, their previous starter, did not do. But it's important they establish the run. Something that's difficult to do against this Carolina front seven.
Four-man rush. Kirk Cousins, far sideline, caught by Jamison Crowder, out of bounds, about 3 yards short of the first down.
Jamison Crowder, a man that can line up on the outside, and he can also play in the slot. This is a quick outside breaking route. Good line awareness, sets up a 3rd down and 4. Chris Thompson checking into the game. He's the third down back. A very good receiver, and for a small man, has been outstanding picking up the blitzes, and it looks like Carolina's coming.
Carolina's second in the league in sacks with 39. Only Denver has more. They have 40. They back out of it and rush for Cousins, first down. Pierre Garçon across midfield for the Panthers' 49-yard line, a pickup of 8.
Good pass protection by the Redskins. Here comes Cousins in a no-huddle offense. They're going to mix the tempo and try to eliminate some of the looks that defensive coordinator Sean McDermott has thrown out there.
Plenty of time for Cousins, and a man open. First down, Deshaun Jackson to the 26-yard line of Carolina.
Here they come again. It's a deep square in by Jackson. He laid out and got it. That time they used Jamison Crowder to clear out the deep zone, something Jackson usually does for Crowder.
23-yard completion to Jackson. He's had a reception of 50 yards or more in each of their last 3 games. Rob Kelly could not get back to the line of scrimmage. Thomas Davis led the way for the Panthers. They're giving up 26 points per game. That's up from 19.3 last year. On their way to the Super Bowl, there's Sean McDermott. A.J. Klein in for Luke Kuechly. Out for the 4th game in a row with the concussion, but helping the coaches, keeping track of the play calls. Charles Johnson also out with a hamstring, key member of that defensive front for Carolina. Cousins, the check down to Rob Kelly, and he's upended in space. Big tackle because there was some running room if James Bradbury didn't get Kelly down.
Let me tell you about James Bradbury. For a rookie, he is a very good tackler, and that's what you have to do in this Carolina defense. As much zone coverage as they play, you've got to step up and make some one-on-one tackles against physical runners. Bradbury has gotten better and better, and by the way, he's wearing Josh Norman's old jersey.
Norman gone. They used their 2nd-round pick on Bradbury and their 3rd-round pick on Darryl Worley, the cornerback out of West Virginia. They've gone a lot better as the season's gone along. On 3rd down and 9, Cousins, all kinds of contact. The ball way out of bounds. It looked like Garçon shoved down Worley. And the field goal unit comes out for Washington, trying to tie the game for Jay Gruden with 6:23 to go in the first quarter.
And Hopkins made 5 field goals earlier in a win against the Giants. He has struggled as of late.
He's missed 7 field goals, tied with Roberto Aguayo of Tampa Bay for the most misses in the league this year. 43-yard try. Hunter Tress-Way is the holder. Nick Sundberg, the snapper. And we're tied at 3. Monday Night Football from our nation's capital. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our producer Jay Rothman, our director Chip Dean, and our terrific crew, which enjoyed our holiday party here in Washington last night. We also want to send along happy birthday greetings to a much-loved member of our family on Monday Night Football, Zeta Davis. If it wasn't for Zeta, most of us wouldn't even make it to the stadium. So.
I know I wouldn't. Zeta does all our travel, and well, I need her help.
Each team has kicked a field goal. It's been a great, perhaps historically great weekend for field goal kicking around the league. We'll tell you more as the night goes along. Fozzie Whittaker taken down at the 16-yard line by Ryan Grant. Well, as we mentioned, these two teams met last year in Charlotte. November 22nd. It was a rough day for Kirk Cousins. He was sacked 5 times. He fumbled twice, threw an interception. The exact opposite for Cam Newton. He threw a career-high 5 touchdown passes. They went to 5 different receivers. 4 of them were in the first half. Redskins rushed for just 14 yards in the game. And it It was a one-sided win, although Kirk Cousins and the Redskins finished strong and wound up winning the NFC East at 9-7 to get into the playoffs. Cam Newton with his right shoulder obviously bothering him. Back on the field, 1st and 10 from the 16. Jonathan Stewart, tough run. He picked up 7. Mason Foster the stop for the Skins.
Keep an eye on Martrell Spate, number 50, second-year man out of Arkansas. He's got to make all the calls. He's going to get the calls from Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator. He's got to set the front, give some alerts, and he's got to respond to Cam Newton, who's going to mix the tempo and use some no-huddle offense. This is a tall order for a young man making his first start with the playoffs on the line.
Joe Barry, the coordinator, said it was good that he played a lot of last week's game after Compton got hurt. They feel good about that experience. A missed tackle, and Stewart babbles his way out near the 40-yard line. Mason Foster made another tackle.
Jonathan Stewart is a powerful man. He usually heats up in December. He's going to cut this play back, and you're going to see Trent Murphy with a chance to make a tackle for loss, but the powerful Stewart, who's closing in on D'Angelo Williams as the all-time leading Panther rusher, breaks one.
15-yard gain. Stewart started the night leading 455 yards rushing to catch D'Angelo Williams at the top of the all-time rushing list for the Panthers, so possibly could do it before the end of the year. He'd need 3 big games. He carried again, and Preston Smith made the tackle. There is the Washington defense with the question marks in the middle with Spate and Foster. Not much experience.
And the man coverage. Norman versus Benjamin at the top of the screen.
4-man rush on second, and hey, nothing wrong with Cam's shoulder there, and it's a first down to the 50-yard line to Kelvin Benjamin with Josh Norman in coverage. Gain of 12.
Well, that's all we heard about in the pregame is Josh Norman playing against his old teammates. Round 1 goes to Benjamin on a slant pattern, well thrown by Cam. Keep an eye on this Panther backfield. There is a lot of deception. You see Fozzie Whitaker as the single back. A lot of times they bring a receiver into the backfield. A lot of crazy ball handling expeditions by Newton.
Newton with some traffic around him got it off for another first down. Billy Brown into Redskin territory at the 36-yard line.
It's impressive by this Panther offensive line. A lot of backup players. Chris Scott at right guard. Trey Turner at right tackle. Larson, their third string center, gives Newton plenty of time to survey the defense and attack a zone coverage. Give credit to the Panther offensive line.
With Turner, ordinarily a guard, had to move out to tackle when they moved Mike Remmers from right tackle to left tackle when Orr went out with a concussion. Play fake to Stewart. He stayed in the block. Newton on target again, and the ball comes out of the hands, incomplete to Ted Ginn Jr. Rashad Breeland knocked it out.
One of the Redskins that has to step up is Preston Smith. Smith had 8 sacks last year as a rookie. And I have not seen Preston Smith explode onto the scene yet this season. And the time is now for the Redskins. They need Preston Smith to create some havoc off the edge against some backup offensive linemen.
Joe Barry loves Smith's skill set. 6'5", 265, long and athletic. Still a little young and immature. Looking for him to be more consistent. Stewart. Boy, he's a tough runner. You wouldn't know. They were basically out of the playoffs with his effort to the 30-yard line. A gain of 6. Preston Smith in on the stop with Mason Foster.
You can watch Jonathan Stewart Cam Newton, Olsen, Thomas Davis. Put the film on, Sean, against Seattle a couple weeks ago. They're down 33-7, and you would not know. These are professionals. These are three-time NFC South champion players that have a lot of pride.
And they won the division each of the last 3 years. They still haven't finished with back-to-back winning records in the 22-year history of the franchise. Newton deep to the end zone, wide open. Touchdown, Ted Ginn.
You see Dante Whitner lost in the middle of the field. I have no idea what he's seeing with the speedy Ginn. Ted Ginn going right down the field. You're going to see Whitner get back to the post. Get depth against Ted Ginn. The man can run. No pass rush, no coverage deep. And Newton shreds him.
30-yard touchdown pass. The Redskins have had issues at safety all season long. When we were here for the season opener against Pittsburgh, starting safeties were D'Angelo Hall and David Burton. Neither one of them active tonight. Newton 3 out of 4 on the drive. And the Panthers on the road lead 10-3 in Washington. Cam Newton's now thrown 7 touchdown passes, caught more than 30 yards downfield. That's the most in the NFL, one more than Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota of Tennessee. 4 of those long touchdown throws have gone to Ted Ginn now, with the catch a moment ago by the veteran wide receiver. Carolina leads 10-3 as Graham Gano kicks off again. And no chance for Chris Thompson to run it out.
Well, Ted Ginn runs right down the seam, and you see Dante Whitner. Looks like they're in a 4-deep zone. He just turns them loose. It's a 7-man protection. It's a 3-man route against the zone coverage, and they blow it. The Redskins have used 11 different defensive backs. They can't find a safety. And Dante Whitner, who was signed in October, who played for the Browns last week, obviously was expecting help. Touchdown Panthers.
On first down, a play fake by Kirk Cousins to Robert Kelly in the short throw. Caught by Vernon Davis. Looked like his career might be winding down before he got here to Washington. But he's had a terrific run. Your brother was saying he's signed only through the end of the year. He's 32 years old, but they hope to keep him around.
Well, he's a real tight end. He can block, he can pass protect, and he can run routes. You can detach him. He still has speed. He's 32 years old and played right here at the University of Maryland. He's played extremely well.
Out of Dunbar High School in the District of Columbia. Cousins over the middle. Caught. Vernon Davis. Plenty left in the tank, and that's a first down. He was yanked down by Kurt Coleman.
Blitz pickup going to be a big part of this game. Robert Kelly, number 32. You're going to see the blitz. Thomas Davis, who's one of the best. Well done by the rookie.
It's 500 career catches now for Vernon Davis. Cousins deep down the middle and intercepted by Kurt Coleman. With some running room down the far sideline. Knocked out of bounds.
A bad decision by Cousins. And since the beginning of 2015, that's Kurt Coleman's 11th interception, and he seems to own the Washington Redskins. From his free safety position, watch the disguise. He's going to roll back to the middle. They fooled Phillip Rivers. Last week they get Cousins. This week, and Carolina's in business.
Overall, 21 career interceptions for the former Ohio State Buckeye. That one delighted Luke Kuechly. 6 of his 21 interceptions have come against Washington.
Luke Kuechly. He's what football's all about.
He wanted very much to play tonight. Ron Rivera said Kuechly pleaded with him to play. They're taking no chances with his health. Stewart, the ball carrier, and a gain of 8 as we wind down the final seconds of the first quarter.
Carolina scored 500 points last week. Cam Newton told us we have lacked a killer instinct. We have to knock opponents out when we get a turnover. They give you so many formations, so many different things to prepare for, and when they're on, they're on.
They didn't score 500 points last week. 500
last
points
year.
Last year. That would have been a really good week. They did win last week against San Diego. They lead tonight. On to the second quarter there in Landover, Maryland. Carolina leading the Washington Redskins 10-3. Not been a happy return home for Washington. They played the last 3 games on the road. High snap handled with ease by the tall Cam Newton. Stewart banging off bodies again inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, Panthers.
What they do, they run the power play to the right. Norwell, the left guard, is the man they like to pull. Get a double team at the point of attack and pull Andrew Norwell. Power. They only run that play to the right. You'll see it in a minute from Cam Newton.
Ozzie Whitaker in the game. Looked like Stewart had his face mask knocked off with the contact. Chris Baker made the stop. Second and goal, Carolina.
These are the areas where Cam Newton is most dangerous. He loves to spread the field. If the box is loaded, he'll throw it. If it's not, it'll be a direct snap run with Cam Newton carrying it.
Working diligently to fix the helmet of Stewart. Mike Tolbert, the fullback, the lone running back. He'll try to power his way in. He's down at the 3 in the arms of Mason Foster.
Big receivers inside the 5. Funchess checking in, number 17, and Benjamin, number 13. You won't find bigger wide receivers than these 2 men. Norman versus Benjamin. Dunbar versus Funchess at the bottom.
Cam throws to the near side. Olsen, did he catch it? We're going to give him the catch. He does wish he didn't catch it because they lost yardage on the play. With Bashad Breeland there to bat it. Olsen caught it for a 2-yard loss.
That's an important stop by Washington. Nice play by Breeland. That's the second time he has defended Olsen in the red zone.
Graham Gano made 11 in a row. He kicked 3 field goals against the Redskins in that Panther win in Charlotte last year. 23-yard try, and it's 13-3. Carolina in the second quarter in Washington. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Taco Bell's new Steakhouse Burrito and Steakhouse Nachos. No reservations, no garnishes, just the Steakhouse good stuff. By Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And by the new film Sing, of the creators of Despicable Me and The Secret Life of Pets, in theaters Wednesday. Any of those people look familiar, Coach?
You guys been calling my mom again, getting these photos. That's my brother Jay. We used to get up early on Christmas, and my brother Jim. Great memories, great time of year, isn't it, Sean?
It sure is. That last picture was
Santa Claus.
of Jay when he was 2 years old. We thank your mom, Kathy Gruden, Dad Jim, for sending along the pictures. We wish all the Grudens a very Merry Christmas. after the kickoff, I want you to explain to America what foolers are, because that was apparently a very big part of the Gruden family Christmas growing up, according to your brother Jay. Graham Gano kicks off. Panthers leading 13-3. And Chris Thompson will not try to bring it out. So you were telling us yesterday, you and Jay, as we enjoyed our visit, that the foolers were a big part of your Christmas. What's that all about?
Well, my dad was Santa Claus. He'd pass out the gifts to John from Mom, to Jay from Dad. I got a gift from Jay. I was all excited. I opened it up. It was a dirty rock from the yard. So as the years went on, the foolers got worse and worse and worse. But when you get a gift from Jay Gruden, you never know what it is. It's not what you think it is or what you're hoping for.
Well, I think given the income level now, the two of you could do better for each other than a rock. Maybe every now and then a serious gift and not a fooler. But you have to be very proud of him.
Yes, I am.
Done an outstanding job here in Washington to try to make the playoffs for the second year in a row. Rob Kelly carry. That's something that hasn't happened here in Washington since they made the playoffs 3 straight years, 1990, 91, and 92. And he's the youngest, right? You have your older brother Jim, then you, and then Jay.
He's the youngest, and he probably got most of the brains of the family, he and my older brother Jim, and I get stuck with you up here, Sean. But really proud of him. He's done an excellent job, and he's accumulated a very good coaching staff, and they're going to need him right now down 10.
Pass batted down. Forward pass. Ryan Dallaire knocked it down.
Dallaire is another unknown Panther that has really been active as a pass rusher. He recognizes the quick string. You know you're not going to get there. Get that hand up, knock it down. And on 3rd down and 9, just watch the looks that the Panthers present. The linebackers will threat the blitz until the ball is snapped. You won't know if they're coming or going.
Snap it with 2 on the play clock. Cousins well protected, has a receiver, and it's dropped by Chris Thompson.
Well, that was not a very good throw. Thompson sitting down against the zone. Ball just died on Cousins. And this Redskin offense is in a funk.
Ted Ginn back for the punt from Trest Way. Good kick. Ginn backpedal to the 17-yard line. He's out of bounds after he crossed the 30. So the defending NFC champions, the Carolina Panthers, might be out of the playoff picture, but they're still putting up a big fight tonight against Washington. Back in Washington, D.C., as we approach Christmas in our gorgeous nation's capital. Important home game for the Washington Redskins. They've been outplayed significantly through a quarter plus by the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton, who have the ball with a 13-3 lead from their own 34. Newton on target to Greg Olsen. Back into Redskins territory and taken down by Trent Murphy.
That's Martrell Spate in his first career start, and you give Cam Newton all day to throw the football, and Spate's got to get depth in coverage. Olsen can cover ground, and another big play for this Carolina offense. I can't say enough about Greg Olsen. All the things that he does for this offense and for the community in Carolina.
27-yard game. Newton battling a sore shoulder, 7 out of 11 for 128 yards and a score. Good protection for a while. Now Newton forced to retreat and throw it away. Ryan Kerrigan put the heat on Newton. And you're right about Greg Olsen. He is the Panthers nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the 2nd year in a row. had a child born with a congenital heart issue. They were fortunate because of their financial wherewithal. Their child was able to get the best treatment. They've started a foundation to help other families in a similar situation pay for all their medical needs. Wow, look at Stewart leaping and then staying on his feet and picking up the first down.
Duke Iheanacho has a chance in the backfield, and Jonathan Stewart makes a big-time run. Iheanacho, number 29, with penetration. How about that vision and cutback ability? And watch the finish by Jonathan Stewart. First down, Carolina. And you can see why he's one of the all-time Panther greats.
One of the best 11-yard runs you'll see. He's already rushed for 62 on 10 carries. They'll stick with him. And he's ahead for a yard. Matt Ioannidis made the tackle.
I used to coach in this conference, Sean, and D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart together were an awesome duo, but this young man has really put his career in gear the last couple of seasons as a Panther, and he is a hard man to tackle.
Only Steve Smith and D'Angelo Williams have more touchdowns than Stewart. After a fake to Whitaker, it's almost intercepted. They've seen enough of those quick slants, and Quentin Dunbar stepped in front of one, almost picked it off.
I don't know how Cam Newton does this. This is a running play. It's a counter play. They're going to hand the ball off with a guard and a tight end pulling, and he's going to throw a pass because he doesn't like the box count. He pulls it out of the back's chest and probably throws the ball from an awkward position with no laces, and that's one of the reasons Cam Newton's mechanics and passing percentage isn't where some of the others are.
How about that number for the Redskins defense? And they have their opponents in 3rd and 9, 14. Their opponents have converted 53% of the time. Newton got away from Preston Smith, and now he slides down. Still took a hit up high from Trent Murphy, and they throw the flag. So much attention given to how the Panthers and Cam Newton feel that they have not been, he has not been as well protected by the officials as he should be. And they were not reluctant to throw the flag there. Nor should they have been. First flag thrown in the game.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting on number 1 of the offense. That 15-yard penalty reassessed. It'll be 4th down.
Well, there was no flag for the hit on Newton. It was for Newton throwing the ball. It was that flip of the ball at Murphy. Wow.
Boy, that's a big penalty. It takes Carolina out of the scoring zone, and you have Washington on the ropes. Don't let frustration overcome you. That's big.
John, while we have a moment, let's bring in Jerry Austin. Jerry, so much attention about Cam Newton, hits on Cam Newton. Should that one have been flagged?
That was a sliding quarterback. You have helmet-to-helmet contact. There should have been a call there. The two fouls would have offset each other.
It does take the Panthers back out of field goal range. So as John said, a huge call. And now the dangerous Jamison Crowder back for the punt from Michael Palardi. Took over for Andy Lee when the Pro Bowl punter went out with a hamstring injury. Fair catch made by Crowder at the 11-yard line. 31-yard punt. During the commercial break, Ron Rivera, the Panthers coach, gave an earful to Walt Coleman, the referee. didn't like the fact that that hit on the sliding Cam Newton went unpenalized. And a lot of talk. Cam said he understands when he's a runner, it's a different story. Most of their issues have been on hits against him when he's in the pocket. But that's one, even as a runner, that should have been flagged. And was not. From the 11, first down Washington. Cousins out throwing, and the catch made, 31-yard line, Pierre Garçon.
One of the things that these Panthers are doing is they're playing a lot of single safety tonight. This is a post pattern, well thrown by Kirk Cousins. But keep an eye on the depth of these Panther safeties. They are very conscious of Deshaun Jackson and the fact that Cousins has been throwing the ball over the top of people in the last few weeks.
And the catch for Garçon, his 100th in a row without a drop of an on-target throw. That's the longest active streak in the league. He's had another terrific year. Robert Kelly out of the backfield. It is a gain to the 49-yard line. He did not go down, stayed on his feet. There was no whistle. He got a couple of additional yards at the end of the play.
Going to have to check the ball down, I think, Sean. Look how deep Trey Boston is. 21 yards deep. Conscious of Jackson going down the field, and they're doing a nice job of disguising 3 deep with 4 deep, 2 deep, different types of zone coverages. Can Cousins finish a drive? Trent Williams, I believe, they're going to get for a false start at left tackle.
Neutral zone infraction, number 97, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You never know, Sean.
Mario Addison has really come on of late. He had a big play in their win last week against San Diego. Sacked Phillip Rivers, the Charger quarterback, in the end zone for a safety.
A lot of people don't know this, but the Carolina Panthers, after 12 weeks, led the NFL in sacks. And Addison is their leading sack man with 7.5.
Well, they spread them around. They don't have anybody close to double figures in sacks. Screen. Robert Kelly. Great call. Well executed. And a first down for Washington to the Panthers' 25-yard line.
That's Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach. He has always been an excellent screen coach. Watch Kelly catch this screen and go right down the numbers. He sets up the kick-out block, the lead block. The numbers are the sidewalk, and that landmark helps set up those blocks. Good work by Kelly and this athletic offensive line of the Redskins.
He told us when we visited yesterday, he's worked very hard to become a better player in the passing game. Had a couple of drops early on. Now he turns the corner. And a flag down. He was taken down by K1 Short.
And that's usually holding.
Holding, number 75, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Brandon Sheriff called for the hold. Well, Robert Kelly's nickname is Fat Rob. He got that at Tulane. He was in and out of school a couple of times for academic reasons. Prior to last season, he was out for a while. When he left the football team, he was 225. When he came back, he was over 250. He ate himself into a fullback spot instead of the featured running back. He had just 200+ yards rushing last year. One of the reasons why he wasn't drafted. He has a backpack that says Fat Rob on it. He brought it to the OTAs here in Washington. His new teammate saw it. That nickname sticks. Chris Thompson down to the 30-yard line. Kurt Coleman made the tackle.
I like Kurt Coleman. He has been a good player wherever he's gone. I've seen him play well for Philadelphia. I've seen him play well as a Viking, as a Chief. Watch him fill the alley and make a beautiful one-on-one tackle. Coleman with already an interception. That time good run defense by the veteran.
Saw 11 interceptions now. Only Marcus Peters, Reggie Nelson have more in that span. Breaking a tackle, Chris Thompson couldn't get away though from Thomas Davis. And he's down at the 22-yard line, about 7 yards short of the line to make as we go under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Thomas Davis, 5 years in a row, over 100 tackles. Klein misses the tackle, and Davis, with all-out effort, cleans it up. 33 years old. He's the oldest Carolina Panther, and they don't make them like that anymore.
He did admit he's starting to think more and more about the end of his career, but it's not likely to be at the end of this season. 5-man rush. Cousins dumps it off. Terrible tackling. And Deshaun Jackson has the first down at the 5-yard line. Trey Boston ran him out after Kurt Coleman whiffed.
Just when you sing a man's praises, Kurt Coleman misses a tackle. Corner blitz. Great pickup by Trent Williams. And Davis and Coleman failed to corral Deshaun Jackson. That's a great pickup, Sean, by left tackle Trent Williams against that corner blitz.
And a 17-yard gain, 14 of it after the miss by Coleman and by Davis. First and goal, Washington from the 5. Robert Kelly, the running back. Kelly pulls to the end zone. Touchdown!
That's reminiscent of the Hogs of yesteryear. They used to hand the ball to John Riggins behind some mammoth offensive linemen. Double team. They're going to push the pile. Kelly with great effort, but watch this surge by the offensive line.
And when we talked yesterday to Jay Gruden, to Sean McVay, the offensive coordinator, to Kirk Cousins, they all said the same thing about Kelly. Brandon Sheriff as well. You can't tackle him. His best attribute might be that he can turn a play that should be a 2-yard loss into a no gain, or a play that should be no gain into a 2-yard gain. And Rob Kelly said, well, I'm used to that. I got hit behind the line of scrimmage so much at Tulane. I'm used to bouncing off those hits and at least trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. Extra point. No good. Dustin Hopkins, wide left. His third missed PAT of the year in 33 attempts. 89-yard drive in 7 plays. It's a 4-point game. 136 yards passing tonight for Kirk Cousins, so he has broken his own single-season passing yard mark for the Washington Redskins. Now 4,181 this season, and 2 more regular season games left for Kirk Cousins. Luke Kuechly over there trying to help the defense. Ron Rivera really got after the defense as they came off the field. Dustin Hopkins, after his missed extra point, kicks off. Panthers leading 13-9. Joe Webb will not try to run it out of the end zone. Well, for college football fans, the games you've been waiting for all season long, the college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. What a great way to ring in the new year. It comes your way New Year's Eve. First one, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 3 Eastern Time. Number 4 Washington against number 1 Alabama. And then at 7, third-ranked Ohio State, number 2 Clemson in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl from beautiful Valley of the Sun in Glendale, Arizona. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. I know you follow that closely. Anybody going to upset Alabama?
No. No, they won't.
And Newton under center comes out with a screen pass to Mike Tolbert, the veteran fullback with big bodies in front of him. And it's a 12-yard gain before he got yanked back by Mason Foster.
It's a good call. They run that power play, and then they pull the guard, and they throw the screen back to number 35, Mike Tolbert, who bluffed Ryan Kerrigan, and that'll slow down the pass rush. Good play selection by Coach Shula, the offensive coordinator. Man, has he done a nice job with this Panther offense.
Yeah. Speaking of Alabama, former Alabama quarterback Mike Shula, and later their coach. And nothing doing. But I like the story Mike Shula told us earlier in the year, Coach, about how he got into coaching. He was drafted by his old college coach, Ray Perkins, who had just come to Tampa Bay. Back when they had 12 rounds, he said, I wasn't even their first pick in the 12th round. I was 12B. He was on the team for a year, didn't play, and Ray Perkins called him in and said, what do you think about coaching? He said, no, I'd like to play. He said, well, we're going to have only 2 quarterbacks next year, and you're number 3. So how'd you like to coach? Mike said, okay, I think I understand how that's going. And he's been a coach ever since. Of course, the son of the legendary Don Shula, Cam Newton, and it is incomplete. Looked like it might be picked, and then it looked for a moment like Ted Ginn might take it a long way with Bashad Breeland in coverage.
It's a square in by Ted Ginn. Cam Newton all day to throw. Bashad Breeland in man-to-man coverage with a beautiful play. 3rd down and long, and this has been the Achilles heel of the Redskin defense, believe it or not. 3rd down and 9 to 14. They've given up over 50%, and that's incredible.
Well, we asked the coaches and players about that. They said it hasn't been one thing. Sometimes not good enough rush. Other times, obviously, the coverage has been weak. They come after Newton, and he's in trouble. Swarmed under, back at the 25-yard line, with Chris Baker leading the way. Trent Murphy there as well, and Mason Foster.
We said that at the beginning of the broadcast. Newton has struggled with the blitz because the Panthers have struggled picking them up. Huge play by the Redskin defense.
2-minute warning here at FedEx Field.
Average fan may be watching the big play and where the ball is. We're responsible for the entire field. There are 2 athletic trainers in the booth for all National Football League games. My primary job is to spot injuries to the head and neck. We have the vantage point that the medical staffs do not have. We have the capabilities to stop a game and do a medical timeout. We can contact officials to get to that player to receive the medical care that he needs.
2 certified athletic trainers in the box of the stadium known as the booth ATC spotters. Are scanning the field constantly, looking at the live TV program feed to help identify injuries and communicate with the team medical staffs. They have the authority to halt play with a medical timeout that does not count against either team if they observe a player who displays signs of disorientation. Carolina to punt. Michael Palardi. Jamison Crowder with some running room on the catch. Jamison Crowder chopped down at the 44. Joe Webb with a flag down on the play back at the 35-yard line. Might have been a block in the back.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 34, return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Mac Brown, after a great career as the head coach at the University of Texas, now a special teamer for the Washington Redskins.
It's a big penalty by a rookie special teamer. And in a 2-minute drill, you're going to see a lot of nickel defense from the Carolina Panthers. Keep an eye on number 54, Shaq Thompson. Taking over for Luke Kuechly in this situation. He is coming on a very good coverage linebacker.
Kirk Cousins. High throw. Yeah. Pushing the pocket back toward Cousins, and he threw high for Pierre Garçon.
That was Shaq Thompson on a blitz. And you could hear it from up here. Thompson, their former 1st-round draft choice out of Washington, played both ways in college. Becoming a force for this Carolina Panther defense.
Had an interception last week against San Diego, one of the 3 interceptions the Panthers had. They had 5 takeaways. A bit of a wobbler, but it got to Deshaun Jackson. He's out of bounds about a yard shy of the marker, chased out by Darryl Worley.
Deshaun Jackson came in averaging almost 18 yards a catch. And tonight he's had to work underneath. And on third down is short. Will the rookie corners, Bradbury 24, 26 Worley, play some man-to-man?
Cousins, short throw, dropped. Well, we talked about Garcon had the longest streak of on-target catches without a drop, but that's a drop with James Bradbury in coverage.
I like Bradbury. Earlier in the game, he made a nice tackle. Perhaps Garcon should have caught that football, but Bradbury, a much improved rookie corner. Nice pick by Dave Gettleman in the second round.
Again, back for the punt from Tresk Way. Again, runs out of bounds with Duke Iheanacho in hot pursuit. Just moments away from Toyota halftime with Chris Berman. He'll have Boomer's final drive. The subject, Zeke Elliott and Derek Carr, MVP candidates. The latest news and notes from Adam Schefter among the subjects he'll be covering. Gus Bradley dismissed yesterday as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and good luck to Gus. It didn't go as he had hoped. Ultimately, you are judged by the record, but I don't think anybody would argue he's a terrific guy.
No doubt, and I think he's an excellent coach, and all the best to Gus Bradley, and he'll be back.
Dismissed after the game yesterday. Cam Newton with 1:20 to go in the half, on target for a 9-yard completion to Philly Brown, who's not been much of a factor in their offense for several weeks now, but he's had a couple of catches tonight.
And the only pass rush we've really seen from Washington tonight is when they blitz.
2 timeouts for Carolina, under a minute to go in the half. Newton on target again. Philly Brown, who had only 4 catches in the last 7 games entering tonight, has had 3 tonight. Timeout Panthers. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Consecutive completions. Cam Newton to Philly Brown, 9 yards, 19 yards. They're on the fringe of field goal range here. 1 timeout left, 53 seconds. 1st and 10. Panthers at the Redskin 38. Fozzie Whitaker, the running back, on the left hip of Cam Newton. Just a 3-man rush. They still put heat on Cam, who threw it away over the head of Greg Olson. Flag down. Back behind the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be holding against Carolina, I believe.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, number 70, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Trey Turner working against Ryan Kerrigan. I think that's the 10th penalty on Trey Turner, and it's a good call by the official. And defensive coordinator Joe Barry has gotten to Cam Newton with some blitzing. What will he do here?
Should we infer you think he should continue to blitz?
It's been a problem for Carolina, and Joe Barry's got some good ones tonight.
Play clock is still running. I think there might be some question about the down. The down marker had the wrong down. Well, Coleman's trying to get them to reset the play clock, and as you can see now, they did. 1st down and 20. They do bring a blitz. It's a little late. It's dumped off. Nice catch down around his knees by Olson, who smartly runs out of bounds to stop the clock. at the 39, chased out by his former teammate Josh Norman.
Shallow cross. You see Olsen nudge Trenton Murphy to help in pass protection, and heads up play by Olsen to stop the clock.
His 4th catch of the night for 65 yards. .40 seconds to go. Ryan Kerrigan circled around behind Newton. He's still retreating. Cam, he got it off, and it's incomplete. Good effort by Philly Brown on the low throw, but he couldn't rescue it. 3rd down and 11 with 33 seconds remaining.
Another 3-man rush by Joe Barry, and defensive tackle Chris Baker dropping in coverage, and Ryan Kerrigan, who came in with 11 sacks, far and away the leading sack man for the Redskins, continues to work hard. And 3rd down and 11. Norman at the bottom of the screen working against his old teammate Benjamin. It looks like man-to-man here.
Josh told us he would travel with Benjamin most of the night. He dropped into zone coverage, and the ball incomplete for Greg Olsen. And now a decision to make for Ron Rivera. It'll be a long field goal here, about 57 yards. Very little wind in the stadium tonight, but it is cold. The temperature now right around the freezing mark.
Got to punt this. A miss would give the Redskins a scoring opportunity, and I might just tell Jamison Crowder to stay away from this punt and go to the locker room. You get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
Michael Pilardi is the punter. 24 years old. He really bounced around before he got this opportunity with Carolina. Good kick. Pilardi spent time on the practice squad with Cleveland, with Atlanta. He was in training camp with Oakland in 2014, with St. Louis last season. Finally got the opportunity to kick in an NFL game with the injury to Andy Lee at the middle of this season. A 24-yard punt.
Expect the Redskins to just take a knee and head to the locker room. Down 4.
And the final 10 seconds of the half will tick off. The Redskins went out. They're in the playoffs. A lot of those wild card contenders in the NFC cheering for Carolina tonight. The Panthers lead 13-9 at the half. Washington will get the ball to begin the 2nd half. And we'll join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime in just 30 seconds. Back in Landover, Maryland, FedEx Field, heading toward the 2nd half. Very important game for the Washington Redskins. Right now they're in playoff position, but a loss tonight and they won't be, and they'll lose control of their own destiny. It's 13-9 Carolina. We checked the quarterback numbers. Cam Newton below 50% completion percentage each of the last 4 games, just above 50% in the first half. The numbers quite similar with Kirk Cousins. Time for tonight's Zales Extraordinary Moments, and Cam Newton always provides some extraordinary moments.
Well, they got the running game going. They have over 230 yards of offense. We get the running game going. It's hard to rush the passer. And they've made some big plays in the passing game with very little pass rush. Here you see the Redskins jump Mike Tolbert. No one covers Greg Olsen. Big play. Then they fake the ball. They pull it out of the back's chest, and they put a slant right in there to Ted Ginn. Then a maximum protection. Dante Whitner at free safety blows a coverage, and Ted Ginn running wide open. Once again, no pass rush. Redskins are going to have to outscore the Panthers. They are struggling on defense, and if not for the penalty by Cam Newton, this game might be completely different.
Looked like Cam Newton might not be long for this game. Came in with a shoulder issue after an MRI earlier in the week, which didn't reveal any damage, but it was sore. He was limited in practice. He told us last night he felt fine, but he was clearly a little bit uncomfortable warming up and in the early stages of this game. He threw some terrific passes as the half went along. Bill Blackman's going to try to return the kickoff, and it didn't go well. He's down at the 14-yard line. Here's Lisa Salters.
Hey, Sean, well, I asked Jay Gruden how he hopes to generate some more offense in this second half, and he said, well, we cannot be 2 for 6 on third down. He said, we have to run the ball better. So the plan is, he said, to start this half is to really start to try to establish the ground game, and he says that he hopes that that should help out with the flow. As for Carolina, Ron Rivera said that he was really upset with the poor tackling of his defense in that first half. But as for the offense, he thought that they did a lot of things really well and were moving the ball. He said, we just missed out on some opportunities. He believes they should have more points on the board. Guys.
All right, Lisa, thank you. First down, Washington. Panthers show blitz and bring it. And Cousins lost the ball. It's recovered by Carolina, and he's down just shy of the goal line. Wes Horton picked up the loose ball and nearly took it into the end zone.
Play action pass. The Panthers blitzed it, and Vernon Davis struggling in pass protection. Vernon came from across the formation, and Wes Horton compresses the pocket. That ball's out. First down, Carolina.
We have a fumble recovery by the defense. Runner was down short of the goal line. First down.
If that's the case, it's barely the case. Shades of a year ago when they were after Cousins all day long in Carolina's big win in Charlotte over the Redskins. They had 5 takeaways in that game.
It's a 40th sack for Carolina.
61 is an eligible receiver. 61 is eligible.
Well, Wes Horton been around 4 years out of USC, undrafted out of college. He had his first fumble recovery of his career last week against San Diego, and now he has his second. This will be the shortest scoring drive in Carolina history if they can punch it in. Ed Dixon, the tight end, reset right end of the line, and Stewart stopped. It'll be a loss.
Good penetration by the Redskin defense, and second and goal.
Redskins haven't been able to stop the opponents once they reach the 1-yard line.
David Yankee, an offensive lineman, has reported a tight end at the bottom of the screen.
Mike Tolbert, the fullback, in front of Jonathan Stewart. This time a pass. Tolbert's open in the flat. Extends the ball. Touchdown, Panthers.
Good play selection. Play action pass. Common play in the NFL. You send Olsen to the corner. You slip Mike Tolbert into the flat. And Tolbert has made a lot of plays in goal-to-goal situations in his career. It's what you do. You get a turnover. You cash it in immediately. And Carolina has a chance to go up 11.
It's Tolbert's first touchdown of this season. The 45th of his career. 9-year veteran out of Coastal Carolina. That's also the school Josh Norman attended. Graham Gano adds the extra point. Just more than a minute gone by, and another touchdown on the board for the Panthers. Disappointing start for Vernon Davis and the Washington Redskins here in the second half. Lost fumble leads to a Carolina touchdown, and an 11-point lead now for the visitors. Graham Gano to kick off. Chris Thompson and Rashad Breeland. This one is returnable. Dropped for a moment by Chris Thompson. And the Redskins need to wake up. Michael Griffin made the tackle.
Take a look at that sack. You're going to see Vernon Davis against this blitz come across the formation. And Wes Horton does a great job beating Davis for the sack. And you said it, Washington, who turned it over 5 times last year against Carolina in a defeat. Going to have to get something going.
Really, from the start of the game, if you didn't know which team was playing for its playoff life, you would think it was the Carolina Panthers. They played with great energy from the beginning. Rob Kelly did not get back to the line of scrimmage. K1 Short, who's really come on here late in the year, 4-year man out of Purdue, made the tackle.
Hey, K1 Short's a great player. He had 11 sacks, but it's the run defense that he brings to this defense. He and Star Latulele, who was a high first-round pick, are game wreckers inside. They're hard to run against.
Cousins on 2nd and 10. Jamison Crowder nudged out of bounds by Darryl Worley. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Redskins.
This Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, is bringing a lot of blitzes. Here's a cross dog. He blitzed on the first play of the second half. Here's a cross dog early in the 3rd quarter. And they're not playing man-to-man, Sean. They're playing a lot of different zone blitz coverages. This man was trained in Philadelphia by the great Jim Johnson, and this defense strongly resembles it tonight.
Cousins with time, incomplete. Boy, Deshaun Jackson looking at his hands as if he couldn't believe the ball went through his hands.
Well, it's frustrating. It's another zone blitz, and you're going to have to be patient and make these catches underneath. Deshaun Jackson, who likes to go deep, they're taking that away, and they're going to force you to do some things you don't want to do. Ugly start to the 3rd.
Wow. You aren't kidding. Sack for a lost fumble and a 3-and-out for Washington on offense. Ted Ginn trying to pick up some blockers along the far sideline, and a good return. And there's an injured Redskin. You saw the blocking as Ginn turned the corner. Quentin Dunbar slow to get up for Washington. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. By Toyota, let's go places. By NFL.com/Pro Bowl on sale. Buy your tickets for the 2017 Pro Bowl in Orlando today. Panthers involved in many activities. Spread some holiday cheer around the Charlotte area. Cam Newton distributed a total of $100,000 in funds, food, and gifts for children and families in need in the Charlotte area with his 3rd annual Santa Cam's Surprise Sleigh. You can imagine how pleasantly surprised those kids and their families were to see Cam and accept the gifts. Calvin Benjamin, he held on and has a 1st down. Meanwhile, Deshaun Jackson a moment ago had a chance to make a big play for Washington. Tough to tell what this was all about.
Well, he's jumping. He takes his eyes off the ball. You got to make a play. It's 3rd and 4. Would have been an easy 1st down. And your best player has got to make plays in critical moments. And right now it's going to come down to their defense. They've got to get off the field.
1st and 10. Cam Newton and the Panthers back in Redskins territory. Play fake to Jonathan Stewart, who stayed in the block, and Newton's pass not in the direction of any of his teammates. The officials talking it over. Chris Baker wants an intentional grounding penalty. And Walt Coleman's about to drop the flag.
No doubt about it. There's no one
Intentional
in
grounding.
the vicinity.
Number 1, offense. Loss of down. 2nd down.
This is what Cam Newton talked to us about last night. Having a killer instinct. You have a team on the ropes, put them away. It's what they did last year when they were 15-1. It's something they have been unable to do on a consistent basis this year. Let's see if they can regroup, get half of it back, and show some killer instinct while the Redskins are reeling.
Second and 20. 5-man rush. Newton got it off. Caught. Ted Ginn Jr. retreating. Got back to just about the line where he caught it. Run out by Mason Foster. They'll mark it just shy of midfield.
That was a zone blitz, but you can't be more wide open. Just a hook route by Ted Ginn. Sets up a 3rd down and long.
Third down and 12. Carolina just 1 out of 7 on 3rd down against the worst 3rd down defense in the league after a hitch in a double coverage. And it was almost intercepted by Josh Norman. Intended for Ted Ginn Jr.
Now that's a great play by Norman. Just a go route by Ted Ginn. And watch the close and the layout by Norman. He's an excellent player and an outstanding competitor, and a big stop by the Redskin defense.
Well, we asked Jay Gruden yesterday, are you worried about Norman being too hyped up for the match against his former team? He said he's always as hyped up as you can be all the time, so it really isn't going to be any different. And he said that in an appreciative way. Jamison Crowder taken down by Lou Young. Redskins ball, down by 11. Josh Norman spent the first 4 years of his career with Carolina. Relatively obscure until last season when he was a Pro Bowler for the first time, playing against his old team for the first time tonight. How do you think he's fared?
Done well. A couple slant passes, one of them off a play action. He makes a beautiful play here on the deep ball. They're not going to test Norman very often.
Of course, most football fans know the story. Carolina had placed a franchise tag on him, but when it looked like they weren't going to agree to how it would work out financially in the future, they rescinded the franchise tag, and not long thereafter he signed with the Washington Redskins for that $75 million deal, $51 million guaranteed. Shaq Thompson planted Robert Kelly after a 1-yard gain.
And they have made the Redskins one-dimensional. They've had no running game at all tonight. They fall behind the chains, and now they're able to mix up these pressures and these zone blitz coverages that Sean McDermott has had great success with in the last 6 or 7 weeks with the Panthers. This defense is improving.
On 2nd down, Cousins over the middle. Pierre Garçon down 2 yards shy of the first down. Thomas Davis made the tackle.
Thomas Davis and A.J. Klein. I like Klein. Another unknown player out of Iowa State who has played a lot of good football in Luke Kuechly's absence. Where is Jordan Reed? Been nursing a shoulder, 10 snaps last week. He missed the Arizona game, but Jordan Reed's presence non-existent tonight.
Painful injury, grade 3 separation of the AC joint, his left shoulder. Trying to play through it. And Kelly denied, didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Everybody raving about his ability to make something out of nothing. But he got nothing on that play. Mario Addison leading the way for Carolina.
An injured Redskin on the play. That might be Jordan Reed.
They have not targeted Jordan Reed tonight. He's had 60 catches for the year coming in. Timeout, 9:21 to go, third quarter. Jordan Reed on the Washington sideline now, playing with a very painful shoulder. In his fourth year, he's been injury prone, 17 missed games, including 3 this year due to the shoulder and a concussion. Fourth down and 2. Tressway punts again. Ted Ginn chasing it to the near sideline. No chances. It goes out of bounds on the fly. He got knocked down, did Reed, after the running play was stopped.
Well, he's got to block Mario Addison on the backside. He doesn't get it done, and then standing around the pile, Trey Boston comes in and hits him on that shoulder. Let's hope he's all right, but I used to tell our players sometimes you got to do the things you don't want to do so you can do the things you like to do. And Deshaun Jackson on 3rd and short mishandles an inside breaking route, and Jordan Reed fails to execute a cutoff block. Somebody got to pick it up in a hurry for the Washington Redskins.
So Cam Newton and the Panthers offense back out there, 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Jonathan Stewart. Initial hit by Mason Foster. Short gain, a yard and a half.
I like what Cam Newton said last night. He realizes how hard it is now to win in this league and to sustain success. A lot of great things last year. A lot of things have come very hard for him this year. Can he finish the deal?
As you said, he did not play when they were on Monday Night Football against Tampa Bay earlier this year. He was out with a concussion. Stewart, a yard short of the first down. We asked him last night because the rushing attempts are down. You know, the scrambles are down for Cam. The design runs are down. There was so much talk when he was out about will he change the way he plays to guard against injury, particularly head injury. And he said no. You know, I'm going to play the way I've always played. There's nothing intentional about the reduction in the number of runs.
No, I don't think he's concerned at all about his longevity in this business. He wants to do whatever it takes to win in the present.
Look out. Trent Murphy came in quickly. Still got the ball off for a first down and much more. Ed Dixon rumbling into Redskin territory and down at the 35-yard line. And Newton with that right shoulder again bothering him. Helped up by Mike Remmers.
That's why he's the reigning MVP of football. Unblocked Trent Murphy crushes Newton. Somehow Cam finds his hot receiver for a huge conversion. And Dixon runs over Will Blackman to make it worse.
27-yard gain, just the 10th catch of the year for the backup tight end, Ed Dixon. 7-year man out of Oregon. High snap handled by Newton. Good cut to the left by Stewart. And now a stiff arm and another first down. Flag thrown. You wonder if that's going to be on Stewart.
He's got a vicious straight arm. And he used it there.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask, number 20, defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
There's Greg Toller trying to make the tackle.
That's an unbelievable run by Jonathan Stewart on an inside zone. He cuts it all the way back. You see Toller grasping the face mask. A good call. Stewart is feeling it. 16 carries for 84 yards. He carried it 24 times last week. And in December, over the years, this is when Jonathan Stewart becomes the workhorse of the Panthers.
13-yard run, 10-yard penalty. More than midway through the third quarter. Carolina trying to deliver a big blow to Washington's playoff hopes, and they stop. Stewart for a loss. Penetration by Ryan Kerrigan, and now he's running off, favoring his left arm. It takes a lot to get him off the field. He's never missed a start in his 6 years out of Purdue. Tonight was his 94th consecutive start.
And Joe Barry, I believe, will start dialing up the blitzes. They've worked for him in the red zone so far.
The #1 sack man for the year, Kerrigan, off the field. From the 14, Newton throws quickly. His receiver slipped down. He was looking for Devin Funchess.
Funchess just fell down. You see Toller in the game because Quentin Dunbar out of the game, being checked out for a concussion. You don't know who's coming and going in this Redskins secondary, Sean. They used 11 different starters last year. They've used 11 different starters this year. And on 3rd down and long in the red zone. No Ryan Kerrigan. Where's the pressure coming from?
Newton going up the screen for Stewart. Bang down at the 6. Mason Foster in on another tackle. And here comes the field goal unit. Cam Newton tonight playing in his 5th Monday Night Football game. And he's now thrown multiple touchdown passes in all 5. The only other player to throw at least 2 touchdown passes in each of his first 5 appearances on Monday Night Football, Dan Marino. Newton 3-0 in his career in 3 starts against the Redskins. Entering tonight, trying to keep that mark perfect. Graham Gano adds a field goal of 23 yards. He's 3 for 3 tonight. And the lead grows to 14 for Carolina. Another field goal for Graham Gano. He's 3 for 3. We alluded to it earlier. This has a chance to be the best field goal kicking weekend in the history of the National Football League. Week 5 of 2011, the kickers went a combined 42 out of 44. That's 95.5%. Entering tonight's game this weekend, the kickers were 62 out of 65. These two tonight are 4 for 4. So it's 66 for 69 combined for all the field goal kickers this weekend. That's 95.7%. So if it stays right here in what's been kind of a shaky year for a lot of kickers, this will be a history-making weekend. And all 3 misses in the league this weekend have been from 50-plus. Touchback from Gano. 2 by Dan Bailey, who was the most accurate field goal kicker of all time until he missed 2 from beyond 50 yesterday. Now Justin Tucker is, and the other was by Chandler Catanzaro of the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, the Redskins have had 10 drives tonight. They've had 3 and out 5 times, and that's what this Panther defense has done a great job of this year. Almost 40% of the time Carolina gets off the field 3 and out. Let's see what offensive coordinator Sean McVay has in store.
Well, it's a big stop to hold Carolina to a field goal, keep it a 2-score game. Cousins. Kelly, there he goes again, getting those extra couple of yards. It's become his trademark. A.J. Klein made the tackle on offense here in the second half. They've had a sack and a fumble on the 1-yard line by Cousins that led to a Carolina touchdown, and then 2 3-and-outs for Washington here in the 3rd quarter. Play fake to Kelly. Cousins near side, incomplete. Diving attempt made by Deshaun Jackson along the sideline with James Bradbury in coverage.
James Bradbury has shown up a lot tonight, and he's not backing down from anybody. This time Deshaun Jackson on a comeback route. It's one-on-one coverage, and it's a great catch. Might be challenged.
Well, Jay Gruden walking down the sideline toward the nearest official. Crowd wants a challenge, and here comes the flag.
Wait as long as you can. You let your coaches see as much of the replay as possible. Let's see if Jackson dragged that right foot.
That's going to be the question.
That'll be a
Washington
catch.
is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Yeah, right foot's down. He drags the left foot. The ball never hits the ground.
That's a great catch.
Here's an important ruling from Walt Coleman.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. We have a completed pass. The receiver got 2 feet inbounds with possession of the ball. First down at the 48-yard line. Washington will not be charged a timeout.
That really is a great catch. The Jackson maintaining possession is incredible, and that's a much-needed first down.
Every now and then, Coach Gruden is happy when Walt Coleman comes back.
Thanks for reminding me, Sean.
Of course, he was the referee for the infamous in the Gruden family tuck rule game in Foxborough. Now coached the Raiders. There's Garcon weaving his way down to the 37-yard line. Kurt Coleman made the tackle, so that ruling seems to have brought the crowd back to life, and perhaps the Redskins as well.
Bootleg to Cousins, left. Flicks it to Garcon. Nice work.
Catch by Jackson. 17 yards on the great catch, and now 15 on the throw to Garcon from Cousins. Inside to Kelly. There he goes again. It looked like it would be no gain. It goes for about 4. I think Thomas Davis is yelling at Walt Coleman that they had the play stopped with forward progress. There's Sean McVay, the 30-year-old offensive coordinator for Washington.
He's a good one, but he has had no running game whatsoever. 11 runs for 19 yards. It's made him one-dimensional, and he's trying to figure out which protection to call and which coverage to attack. Carolina mixes it up extremely well.
It's a little better than last year when they rushed for 14 yards on 12 carries. Cousins on target. Garcon first down. Darryl Worley, the rookie, frustrated he couldn't stop Garcon before the marker. First down, Washington.
There's a pro football player, Garcon. He's the hardest working Redskin in the meeting room, on the practice field, and on game day. Great competitor. He can run any route from any formation, and Kirk Cousins trusts him.
5 catches for Garcon tonight. 4-man rush. Cousins after the deep drop. Dumps it off for Vernon Davis. Ridden out of bounds by Thomas Davis.
And Cousins sees his tight end Jordan Reed check back into the lineup. Surprised we haven't seen Reed on some of these option routes against this zone coverage of the Panthers. A very effective, instinctive inside runner. Jordan Reed.
He was part of a bunch to the left and then came in motion to the right. Cousins bought some time, checks it down. There's Jordan Reed, dumped immediately and in pain again. Thomas Davis the tackle.
He's just not right, Sean. That time he ran an option route and he falls down. He just runs a simple option route. He falls down out of the break. He gets back up. He's hurting. He catches the ball and he gets hurt again. 3rd-degree separation in that shoulder. You said it. You got to admire his toughness, but he is clearly not himself. And in 3rd down and 3, I think they're in 4-down territory. Keep an eye at the top of the screen. It's one-on-one coverage. Reed against Coleman. I'd be shocked if Cousins doesn't go there.
Approaching a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Might be 4-down territory. Cousins, far sideline. Intended for Jackson. Trying to draw a flag. He isn't going to get one on a pass that wasn't very close. Darryl Worley had the coverage. Youngest Panther, just 21 years old.
Take a look at Kirk Coleman. This is the matchup you crave. But Coleman has done an excellent job in man coverage, and you see Darryl Worley, the rookie corner, show some nice recovery.
And Washington will go for it on his 4th down and 2, down by 2 touchdowns. Play clock is an issue. They don't want to use a timeout, but this is a critical play. A blitz from Carolina. It's caught over the middle, and then a huge hit on Crowder. He got drilled by Trey Boston.
This is one tough customer. Crowder on a slant from the slot, catches it, protects it, and Trey Boston lays the lumber. That's good football. By both ends.
Big first down for Washington. Rob Kelly trying to turn the corner and could not. A.J. Klein with help from K1 Short. Might be the last play of the quarter, although the clock is stopped and there is a flag down.
Carolina manhandling the line of scrimmage in the running game. And Jordan Reed and Kurt Coleman are involved in a scuffle late.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 86, offense, throwing a punch and hitting the defender. 86 is disqualified from the game.
Well, Reed felt he got cheap shotted by Trey Boston earlier, and this time, he throws a punch, and that'll get you ejected every time. Frustrating night, to say the least, for Jordan Reed.
Well, Coleman was swinging, trying to get untangled from Reed. That clearly irritated Reed. The left shoulder that's bothering him. He threw that with the right hand, then made like a boxer dancing around the ring. Thomas Davis came flying over, imploring the officials to throw the flag, which they did. Well, if he can't catch it, he's not much help to the Redskins, and clearly he's way off his game with that shoulder injury. Thompson, a 1-yard gain. K1 Short runs it down. But you don't break your hand punching the guy in the helmet, too.
It's just not smart.
No.
Yeah, it's just not good at all. And 15-yard penalty, loss of down, backbreaker.
On to the 4th quarter we go. Coverage from Skycam brought to you by American Express. Sean McDonough, John Gruden, Lisa Salters, FedEx Field. Landover, Maryland, the home of the Washington Redskins. Critical game for Washington. Right now, they'd be in the playoffs as the last wild card team. Unless they rally here in the 4th quarter, this would be a huge blow to their playoff hopes. Delivered by Carolina. Kirk Cousins on 3rd down and goal. Pierre Garçon up and over and down at the 8-yard line, upended by James Bradbury, and Trey Boston there in the area as well.
This is simple zone coverage. Throw the ball underneath, rally. It's what you get on 3rd and 25, but here's Hopkins, and this is not automatic. He missed an extra point earlier. Let's see if he can make this an 11-point game.
He'll still be down by 2 scores, but Jay Gruden wants the points here in the opening minute of the 4th quarter. 26-yard try, and the field goal kicker still having a historically good weekend. ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by Burger King. Now you can get 2 delicious Whopper meals for just $10 only at Burger King. And by ESPNshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. 35 ice artisans from China sculpted more than 2 million pounds of ice to form that Christmas Around the World exhibit that you saw at the Gaylord National Resort nearby Oxon Hill, Maryland. Reality starting to set in on the Washington sideline. They have a lot of work to do with just more than 14 minutes to go. Their playoff hopes may take a fatal blow here tonight at FedEx Field. Dustin Hopkins to kick off. Lining up like it might be an onside kick. A lot of time left. And they kick it away. It is returnable for Joe Webb. From time to time in his career has been a quarterback. Well, Coach, going to be quite a run here down the last few weeks for playoff spots. Starting tonight, there were 4 teams that have clinched playoff spots: New England and Oakland in the AFC, Dallas and Seattle in the NFC, but Dallas still playing for perhaps the #1 seed. The Redskins, with Tampa Bay's loss, moved in. 11 teams, including the Redskins starting tonight, who aren't in the playoffs, control their own destiny. So for a lot of these teams in the hunt, you win out, you're in, and that's a great way to play football.
Don't watch a scoreboard. If you're in this position, just go play the games. But you can drive yourself crazy worrying about all the scenarios. Washington's got to win, and Green Bay and some other teams are watching closely, even though I encourage them not to.
We're still at the top of the telecast. Carolina barely mathematically alive. There are so many things that would have to happen that it's totally unrealistic. One of the things that would have to happen is Washington would have to have another tie before the season is over. Greg Olsen the catch, and it looked like Greg Toller got hit in the head by his own man, and he was slow to get up. Undoubtedly those spotters upstairs we showed you earlier will be keeping an eye on him. Martrell Spate came in, got a piece of Olsen and his teammate Toller, and now Olsen is coming off. They communicated with the medical staff, and there is a great example of the process working exactly as it was intended.
It's Greg Toller, a veteran corner. He's filling in for Quentin Dunbar, who left earlier in concussion protocol. And I said it earlier, the Redskins used 11 different starters in their secondary last year. Now, after using 11 this year, there is no Dunbar, no Toller.
And Kendall Fuller, the rookie, has come in. 3rd round pick out of Virginia Tech. Hasn't played a lot. They think he has a bright future. He's still learning. Good catch on a low throw. 6th reception of the night for Olsen. Martrell Spate made the catch. Greg Olsen had a chance to make history tonight. He still might. He's bidding to become the first tight end in NFL history with 3 straight seasons of 1,000 yards receiving or more. He doesn't come off the field very often. Remember, he told us last night he doesn't even know the names of the different substitution personnel groupings because he stays on the field all the time, so he doesn't need to know the names of those packages. He's now 8 yards away from that 3rd straight 1,000-yard receiving season. Ginn is open, and could he make the catch? No, he could not. Boy, that looked like it might be the play that puts the game away for Carolina, but they couldn't complete.
No idea what Rashad Breeland is doing. You got to know where Ted Ginn is at all times. He falls down, and Ted Ginn throws his hand up, and he got to make this catch. 3rd down and 4, 3rd and a long 3. It's Cam Newton time.
Third down and 4. Wide open receiver. Fozzie Whitaker knocked out of bounds in Washington territory by Duke Iheanacho.
Comes right out of the backfield, and Martrell Spate in his first start. Looks like he's covering Fozzie Whitaker. You see the inside route. They pick Spate. And off goes Whitaker for a huge first down. Great play selection by the Panthers, and Fozzie Whitaker, a good all-purpose back.
25 yards for Carolina on 3rd down and 4. Whitaker stays in the game, gets dumped for a loss by Chris Baker. Well, they're going to take Greg Toller now for additional evaluation.
Used to be a day where you play football as a young quarterback, and they put all the young guys, the smaller guys at quarterback, and the big guys had to play offensive line. And Cam Newton has changed that. Now you find the biggest, most athletic human being you can find and make him your quarterback. And that's what you're seeing in Carolina. This man is a rare specimen at the quarterback position.
Ryan Kerrigan talked about that yesterday, what it's like to sack Cam Newton. He said most times you get to the quarterback, it's really not that hard to get him down. He said this guy, you need to use every bit of leg drive and strength you have to wrestle him down at 6'5" and about 250 pounds. .11:25 to go. Greg Olsen, Ted Ginn Jr. and the Carolina Panthers trying to get to 6-8. And trying to do serious damage to Washington's playoff hopes. The Panthers lead 23-12. And they're in Redskin territory at the 40-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Jonathan Stewart, the running back. He got the call and got 3 yards.
Take a look at this Greg Olsen tonight. What a player he is. He can do it all. Blocking for the running plays. Pass protection. Gives Cam Newton time to throw it down the field. He's a possession receiver. He's a vertical receiver. He's a great player. And he can run all kind of routes. 7 years he played without a 1,000-yard season. He's on his way to 3 straight. That was Pete Hayner, one of the great tight end coaches in the game.
They had a lot to do with Vernon Davis's development in San Francisco when he was a tight end coach there. The blitz didn't get there, but the pass for Olsen's incomplete, and there are flags thrown in the secondary. You saw Greg looking for a flag, and he got it, it appears.
Going to be pass interference against the Redskins, and that'll be a 1st down.
Pass interference, number 54, defense. Molly plates in the spot of the foul, 1st down.
That's tight, but Jay Gruden can't believe it.
Nor can the crowd now that they see it on the scoreboard. I like what Greg Olsen said, Coach, when we talked to him last night about the 3 straight years with 1,000 yards receiving. A lot of times you ask players about individual accomplishments. They say, oh, you know, I don't care about individual records. He said, it means a lot to me because it represents things that are important to me. Being productive, being consistent, being durable. So much of what you do to produce like that involves the offseason and keeping yourself in great shape so you can be out there week after week. The officials having a long chat.
Can't imagine what this discussion is about.
We're about to find out.
The ball has been ruled uncatchable. Incomplete pass.
Now it is the Panthers. Greg Olsen on the sideline in an uproar.
Right side of your screen, Foster 54 against Olsen. Ball was clearly short.
And Ron Rivera's probably saying, well, it might have been a little short, but if they're not grabbing him, he could have caught it. I thought it was kind of a marginal call when they threw the flag in the first place. So either way, one side was probably going to be upset. But that's a huge call because instead of they're in field goal range, at the very least a chance to put up 3 more points. Now they have to punt on 4th down and 8 at the Redskin 38. Michael Pilardi on again. Jamison Crowder, fair catch inside the 10. Will be marked at the 7. 31-yard punt. next Monday night. Huge game for the Lions and the Cowboys. No matter what happens between now and then, that'll have significant playoff implications. 8:15 Eastern time. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. The Cowboys did their longtime fierce rivals, the Redskins, in favor last night, knocking off Tampa Bay to get the Redskins back in the playoff position. Just the second wild card right now, but they're about to slide back out of that unless they turn this around in a hurry. Quick set by Cousins. Deshaun Jackson runs out of bounds very near the marker. Kurt Coleman in pursuit.
Got to pick up the tempo. Got to find a way. The Redskins have won some games in dramatic fashion. The Panthers have struggled. Their fourth quarter defense, well known, has given up a lot of yards and points.
One of the reasons why is the deep throw is caught, but is it in bounds? The officials say no. Pierre Garçon. One of the reasons that Carolina has had a very disappointing season is problems in the fourth quarter. That was close.
Not going to get these chunk plays against the disciplined zone defense at times. Going to have to throw the ball underneath that corner or risk an interception.
Cousins looked like it was tipped to the line of scrimmage. Well, Carolina's lost a pair of games this season when it held a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, starting in the season opener at Denver when they led 17-7 in the fourth quarter. They've given up the most fourth quarter points in the league. And their win last week over San Diego, that was the first game this year that they didn't allow any points in the fourth quarter. Third down and 10, approaching 10 minutes to go. Plenty of time for Cousins, and the ball is incomplete. Looking for Vernon Davis, covered by Thomas Davis.
Can't play zone defense much better, and nobody on this Redskin offense has been able to step up. Thomas Davis in zone coverage, he feels the tight end and he reads the quarterback and breaks on a ball. I thought Davis should have caught the football. What a player he is, and he's gotten better after the age of 30 after 3 terrible knee injuries. Amazing.
His 4 kids. They said he's seriously contemplating retirement. Ted Ginn made the catch. Ted Ginn up the middle. Davis said he was at a charity event the other day. His 6-year-old daughter asked a question during the Q&A. Dad, how come you're never home? He said that really struck him. And then he said, I'll probably be back next year. Time for this week's Monday Night Lights. This afternoon, students from Quantico High School got a tour of our production trucks. Got to see how the operation works in Quantico, Virginia. 11-1 the Warriors this season. Lost to Roanoke Catholic in the Division III playoffs in Virginia. Had a great time here today. We were happy to have them along tonight.
Love that. 11-1. What a year. What a game.
Coach Paul Roy.
Only thing to do now for Washington is blitz. Take some risks. Try to dislodge the football. They need a turnover right now.
As the Washington offense, prolific all season long, has had 5 possessions in the second half, scored 3 points. Jonathan Stewart. Hard-earned 4 yards, came up just shy of midfield. Martrell Spate made the tackle, and Trey Turner injured on the play for Carolina. Their right tackle, he has gone down on a knee. Started a trot toward the sideline, and then he went down on a knee, and he is really upset in addition to being injured.
What a job Turner has done. He's an excellent right guard. Pressed into service at right tackle. They've had a number of injuries, and that's a tough transition. It's a different stance. You got different assignments. You're blocking different people, and Pro Bowl player. I like him.
Second and 6. Stewart again. Did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Carolina came in at 5-8. They need to win the remaining 3 games, obviously, to avoid finishing with a losing record. The last team that appeared in a Super Bowl that had a losing record the next season, the Bears, who went 7-9 in 2007 after losing Super Bowl 41 to the Colts.
Well, when it's been man-to-man tonight, Norman has found Benjamin. So it looks like this will be a zone coverage with Norman at the bottom of the screen.
Next to Olsen. And Newton looked the other way to Ted Ginn for a first down. Catch inbounds in Washington territory. And with 8.5 minutes to go, a huge first down for Carolina.
It's an outside breaking route. No pressure on Newton. Dookie and Acho can't get underneath it. No coverage over the top, and that's a beautiful throw by Cam Newton. Hedgin. What a Panther he is.
He got 8 yards on the catch on 3rd down and 5. Newton's thrown for 285 tonight now. Toss over to Fozzie Whitaker. Waited for Chris Baker to go by, and then as he was slipping to the ground, he got smothered by Spate. Got Murphy there. Kendall Fuller. Mentioned 285 for Cam. 2 touchdowns and no interceptions.
And I see Trey Turner check back into the game at right tackle. Newton going to use all the clock. Inside the 30, shoved down by Spade. It's another first down for Carolina, moving the chains and killing the clock with an 11-point lead. This Redskin defense just decimated. Underneath coverage, really struggling. Tolbert in the flat, nobody's there. And that's a dagger. Martrell Spate in his first start tonight. Done an admirable job, but Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers have earned, I think, a victory.
With 6.5 to go, Cam's now thrown for 300 right on the button. And for the first time in 5 games, he's completed more than 50% of his passes. He had a chance to make really bad history tonight. If he threw 25 passes, completed fewer than half of them, that would have been 5 straight games, which hadn't been done in the NFL since Bubby Brister went 6 straight games in 1988, throwing at least 25 passes and completing less than half.
Huh.
Hard to believe a guy with Cam's talent could be in jeopardy of having that be the note of the night. He's at 58% tonight. Stewart runs. For the year, Cam came in at 53.5%. That's almost a full 10 percentage points below the league average.
This is not a normal pass offense. People have to remember that. This is not a drop back to pass, read your progressions like a classic quarterback. This is a crazy offense. A lot of very difficult ball handling endeavors, a lot of play action passes, run pass options, and the man is asked to do an awful lot from difficult body positions. But I do believe he needs to throw the ball better for them to get back to the Super Bowl.
Held the ball for 3.5 minutes on this possession. 3rd down and 4th, flag down. The ball off the hands of Devin Funchess, and another flag down at the end of the play.
They're holding, I believe.
And that was the call behind the line of scrimmage. There was another flag thrown near Funchess when he didn't catch the ball. Craig Olsen shaking his head as he came back, so you wonder if that second flag was against him.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. Pass interference, number 88, holding, number 70. Those penalties will be declined. 4th down.
So here comes the field goal team.
And Gano has been busy tonight.
This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt. He's already 3 for 3. This will be the longest try of the night. The 38-yarder. He's connected from 35 and twice from 23 yards. And he missed it. We're talking about it been the best weekend in the history of field goal kicking in the league. That's a huge miss. Now an 8-pointer and a 3-pointer would get Washington even instead of needing 2 touchdowns. Redskins still alive, but barely. .537 to go in the 4th quarter. Perhaps the season on the line for Jay Gruden and the Washington Redskins. Ron Rivera's team went to the Super Bowl a year ago. They're not going to be in the playoffs this season. They do have a chance to get to 500, and they have battled throughout. Made it clear very early they came here to win, and they have an 11-point lead.
Jordan Reed is thrown out of the football game. And Pierre Garçon, who was shaken up, I believe, a little bit earlier, is on the sideline. So now 13, Maurice Harris has checked into the game.
He's a rookie out of Cal who has just 7 catches. They've worked some 4th quarter magic before under Kirk Cousins. His pass is deflected. Still made it to Chris Thompson. He's down with an 8-yard gain. And they'll have to go quickly to the line of scrimmage with under 5.5 minutes to go.
That's amazing effort by Addison, number 97. He's rushing Cousins, and he makes the tackle on the check down.
2nd down 3. Cousins, long throw, far sideline. Jackson gets the feet down. A catch just shy of midfield, and a Washington 1st down.
When I was a young coach, Frank Broyles, the old man from Arkansas, the old coach from Arkansas, told me, what you see on film is what you coach. And what you see on film from this Carolina defense in terms of effort is something they demand here, and it's impressive.
They bring a blitz. Cousins, wide open receiver is Jackson. Is he in bounds? No.
Boy. Wide open down the far sideline, and
boy, that's reminiscent of the catch that got overturned in the 1st half.
That's a catch. I believe that's a catch.
I mean, that looks a lot like the one in the 1st half. The only question is, does he catch it? I mean, that looks like the same play. And I believe Jay Gruden's going to throw the flag again.
Good challenge. Not much else you can do in this situation.
Washington ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
They had one earlier in the 3rd quarter. Looked like almost the same play. Back with the ruling in a moment. You know, that play looked eerily familiar. They got the ruling that went their way the last time. Will Walt Coleman speak words the Redskins want to hear this time?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. The receiver had 2 feet inbounds with possession of the ball. The ball will be placed at the 29-yard line. Washington will not be charged a timeout. That is their 2nd correct challenge, so they will receive an additional challenge.
A lot of time left. 2-possession game.
22-yard reception. Jerry Austin here with us in the booth. Jerry, you agree with that decision?
That's the correct call, the correct ruling. He had possession before either foot touched out of bounds.
So just under 5 minutes to go. First and 10, Washington at the 29-yard line. Cousins again, lots of time. Chris Thompson takes the 3-yard gain and runs out of bounds.
Good call. Predictable zone coverage. Carolina forcing Cousins to be patient. They have done a great job mixing miscellaneous zone blitzes. Keep an eye on Davis, number 58. He's the guy they like to bring.
They bring pressure. Cousins running away from it. Cousins running for the first down. He's shoved out of bounds and a flag down. No question about that. K1 Short with a very late hit across the boundary.
That's a bad penalty. It's a 4-man blitz to the left. They pick it up. Cousins breaks contain. He takes off down the right sideline, and K1 Short.
Personal foul.
That might be close.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 99.
Yep.
Defense.
He's in bounds.
Half the distance of the goal. First down.
Well, look, because you see where he finally shoved him down. He was almost completely out of the white area, but he initiated that contact with Cousins still in bounds. And it looked bad because as you see when he starts to go to the ground, he's way out of bounds. Ooh. She's okay. We're happy to report.
What an effort by Short, but here come the Redskins, first and goal.
12-yard run, 7-yard penalty. Redskins caught a break. Cousins in the flat, dropped by Vernon Davis with A.J. Klein in coverage.
Davis struggling tonight. Second ball I think he should have caught. Tight coverage. A.J. Klein and Vernon Davis. A ball that has to be caught. Second and goal.
4:36 to go. All 3 timeouts for Washington. Right now, the second wild card in the NFC. They'd fall out of that with a loss tonight. Cousins retreating, needs to get rid of it. Throws short, caught in bounds for next to no gain by Pierre Garçon. They would have been better off having that one hit the deck. A lot of time coming off the clock now.
No huddle offense. Garçon back in the game, will be split wide to the left against the rookie, Darryl Worley.
Cousins can't find anybody open. Flag down, probably for a hold. He throws it away. And now you have to take the field goal if this is in fact against the Redskins.
The hands of the face.
Illegal use of hands, hands in the face. Number 76 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still third down.
And they'll take the penalty.
Take the penalty. They trust in a long yardage defense. They can take some time off the clock. You see Moses on the right side of your screen with hands to Wes Horton's face. This will be a prevent defense. They're going to force the Redskins to execute a play, take time off the clock, and get their field goal team on the field. I think it's a good move by Ron Rivera.
You do?
Yes.
Because don't you think if they turn down the penalty, the Redskins had to kick the field goal. You need to make it a one-score game. Now you give them another shot at scoring a touchdown here. The field goal still only about 33 yards. Cousins throws it for Thompson. He couldn't catch it. So time comes off the clock and no forward progress by Washington. Here comes the field goal unit with an absolute must-make kick upcoming for Dustin Hopkins.
Credit this Carolina defense. They have been very good in the red zone. They came in here third in the league in red zone defense. And they've been good again tonight.
Well, the miss a moment ago by Carolina's Graham Gano took away the possibility this was going to be the best weekend ever for field goal kickers in the NFL. So he let all the other guys down. Hopkins. It's a one-score game. 3:45 left. All the timeouts for Washington, and the 2-minute warning as well.
Well, I think Jay Gruden's going to kick this ball deep and trust his defense. I don't think you kick an onside here. I think you hit the ball down there deep, perhaps get a touchback. You have all 3 timeouts, the 2-minute drill left. Problem is the Redskins running out of weapons. Jordan Reed sorely missed tonight. You see Matt Cavanaugh, the quarterback coach, going over the play selection. Should Cousins get another opportunity in the 2-minute drill? And Cam Newton, in this situation, told us last night we need to have a killer instinct. Time for Newton to put the game away himself.
Saw Ben Kawika, the special teams coach. Could you tell based on what he was demonstrating with that clipboard what they're going to do? You think he's going to kick it away?
I'd be shocked if it's an onside kick, but
yeah, too much time in all your timeouts.
Running out of defensive backs, you're running out of players. Either way, your defense is going to have to get a stop, Sean, whether it's at the 50-yard line or back at your own 20. You've got to be in an all-out stop mode. I think they're kicking it.
We're trying to figure out they have enough players on the field. Hopkins, meanwhile, was trying to tee the ball up on the 40-yard line. The officials moved it back to the 35-yard line.
It's tough on Ben Kotwika, the special teams coach. You've lost Toller, you've lost Dunbar, you've lost some key special teams player, Dante Whitner. Now in the game, number 39.
They're lined up as if it's going to be an onside kick, and Carolina's lined up to defend it. Now they blast it deep. Over the head of Fozzie Whitaker.
Cam Newton came in here beat up, had a sore right shoulder, and I think he played very well. Beautiful inside break to Benjamin. Plenty of time. He throws a bomb to Ted Ginn to get the party started. Seam route to Greg Olsen. Touchdown. Fullback in a flat. Mike Tolbert. Cam Newton needs to keep the ball in play and run out this clock, an area where he has excelled his entire playing career.
There was a flag down on the kickoff.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will add it to the end of the play. First down.
So they'll start from the 30-yard line instead of the 25.
It's an area where Cam Newton likes to hand the ball off. Here's the illegal formation. Got to have people spread out. People were too tight together. But you got to keep an eye on Cam Newton keeping the ball here. They know, everybody knows that Jonathan Stewart is the man they want to hand it to, but Cam Newton, well known to not tell anybody and keep it himself.
Jonathan Stewart bounces outside. Jonathan Stewart all the way down. He slides down to stay in bounds and keep the clock moving at the Washington 36-yard line.
Power play. They run it to the right. They pull Remmers. Kick out. Double team. And they pound the Redskins defense. They're going to run the same play again. And keep an eye on Newton. Every time he hands the ball off on that power play, he peeks at the backside. And if it's aggressive, he'll keep it. I'll be stunned if they don't run the same play again.
128 for Stewart. First 100-yard game since he went over 100 against Washington in the big Carolina win in Charlotte last year. Under 3 minutes to go. Here comes Stewart again. And Jay Gruden will use his first timeout with 2:48 remaining, and his team down by 8.
Got to credit Ron Rivera, also the head coach of the Panthers. You win 15 games, things don't go right. They get blown out a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. It's a long flight home. He had benched quarterback Cam Newton. And they show up and they beat San Diego good last week in Charlotte. And they've come on the road here and played well. And say whatever you want to say about Cam Newton, his one-loss record in December is as good as anybody in the business. He has incredible mental toughness and staying power, and he's going to finish, unlike most guys you'll find.
He's 20-6 in his career in the month of December. He joined them in 2011. Panthers under 500 September, October, and November, since it was Cam Newton and Ron Rivera together. But in December and beyond, 20-6 and perhaps 21-6 with a win tonight. Only Seattle and New England are 21-6. Both are 21-6 in those months. So Carolina would match them tonight. Here's Mike Tolbert. He has a first down. A lot of those other potential playoff teams in the NFC are cheering the performance of the Carolina Panthers tonight. The proud defending NFC champs have had a very disappointing season. They'd like to think this is the blip, the aberration, not what they did last year.
They got a lot of Pro Bowl players on this team, and you got a lot of Pro Bowl players, and you got to credit them. They have physically taken a fight to the Redskins tonight.
They've rushed for 148 yards to just 29 for Washington. One timeout left for the Redskins. 2:29 to go. They'll get the 2-minute warning stoppage as well. Give Cam Newton credit.
Well, he's the
right
7th
shoulder
quarterback.
Clearly not feeling very well at the beginning of the game.
Excuse me, Sean. He's the 7th quarterback to throw for over 300 yards against this Redskin defense. And whether they make the playoffs or not, if they don't shore things up in the secondary, get some continuity back there, it's going to be tough sledding. Power play to the right.
Stewart stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Redskins will use their last timeout. Well, the Washington payroll heavily tilted toward the offensive side of the ball, even with the addition of Josh Norman. You can see the offense carrying the load all season long for the Redskins, one of the best offenses in the league. Not tonight, but for much of the year. They spend nearly $83 million of their cap allocation on offense. Only the Cowboys spend more money on the offensive side of the ball, and only the Panthers are paying their defense less than the Redskins $44 million. So even though they brought in Josh Norman to help, still additions necessary on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, you got to draft some players, Sean, on defense. I think in the 2 years that GM Scott McCloughan has been here, I think they've only drafted one defensive player. That's an area they're going to have to rebuild, obviously.
Washington out of timeouts now. Stewart bumped down again, and the next stoppage will be at the 2-minute warning. And a 3rd down upcoming for Cam Newton and Carolina. Two-minute warning. Monday Night Football from Landover, Maryland.
Sports Center at night coming up immediately following the game. Charles Woodson, Randy Moss, and Trent Dilfer will join me for the GMC postgame report. Scott Van Pelt on college football players skipping out on their bowl games. And Doris Burke on one special Duke freshman. We'll all see you. Sports Center at night immediately following the game. Sean and John.
All right, Steve, thank you. Steve's heading to Nassau for a bowl game. And I think the way he just looked on camera there, he might be ready for the warm weather right now.
I see. 3rd down and 9. Got to have a stop and make Gano make a field goal. He missed from 38 yards his previous attempt.
Line of scrimmage to the 22. Cam Newton carried just once tonight for 1 yard. Design run loses a yard. And now the Panthers will let it go down as long as they can. And try the field goal that would put the game away, almost certainly.
Run it all the way down, take a timeout. And Graham Gano, veteran kicker, the ex-Washington Redskin, with an opportunity to ice the game.
Well, they've made the plays tonight. When we talked to Ron Rivera, said, how do you explain 15-1 to 5-8? And he said, well, the biggest thing we just haven't executed in key situations, in the close games. 5 of the 8 losses by 3 points or less. They've made big plays tonight.
It's hard to sustain a high level in this league. I've been there. We won a Super Bowl, didn't have a winning season the next year. You lose players, you lose coaches, you get people hurt, the schedule's different, you pick last in every round. It's hard, really hard. But I have a strong feeling that Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, Kurt Coleman, Cam Newton will be back. They will be heard from. Greg Olsen, what a performer he is. There's too many Pro Bowl players on this team. They're better than most of the teams in the league. They need to get healthy, have a good offseason, and let's see what Gano can do here.
Well, it's quite possible both of the Super Bowl participants from last year will miss the playoffs, and I hate to bring it up, but that hasn't happened since your Tampa Bay team that you mentioned and the Oakland
You got a lot
Raiders.
of good trivia tonight, Sean. I really appreciate it.
This would almost certainly put it in the win column. Graham Gano knocks it through. And with 1:07 to go, Cam Newton celebrates the 40-yard field goal. 4 out of 5 tonight for Gano. 11-point lead with 1:07 remaining.
Great performance by Carolina.
We know one Panther fan who's enjoying that. One of our Monday Night Football editors back at ESPN, Justin Belcher, battling medical issues. And we wish him well. He's probably wearing his Cam Newton jersey tonight as he watches. Justin, from all of your pals and your Monday Night Football teammates, we wish you a very speedy recovery. We're all thinking of you.
No doubt.
You just got the sense. We've talked to a couple teams this year who you wondered what the motivation level was here at the end of the season, but the Panthers, even with the playoffs, almost certainly not going to happen for them. Not only did they talk the talk last night that they were going to show up and fight to the end, they have certainly backed it up from the very beginning of this game.
Well, Cam Newton, he's 4-0 now against the Redskins, and personally, you feel like the better team won tonight. Cam Newton is the reigning MVP, and he got it going, and you get what you deserve. That's what I used to always say.
Touchback, 1:07 to go. Bashard Breeland took a knee. Here's Lisa Salters.
Well, I'm trying to do my report, but Cam's trying to take the microphone away from me. Last night he did travel with a tie on. As a matter of fact, it was part of a very unique outfit that he wore that included a really bright hat. And he told me that he wore this outfit in honor of Craig Sager, obviously the TNT sideline reporter who passed away last week. Newton said that he never actually got a chance to meet Craig, but he said he always admired how he did his own thing, always wore what he wanted to wear. And he said, I wanted to wear something in honor of Craig this weekend that was going to be bold, just like Craig was.
Thomas Davis with the late hit. He blasted Chris Thompson out of bounds. And thank you for that, Lisa. Craig Sager was one of those people you didn't have to know him to know that he was a wonderful guy. That came through very clearly.
An unnecessary roughness, number 58, defense. 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
That came through very clearly when you watched him on TV. He was just one of those people you could tell he was a nice guy, loved what he did, felt blessed to do it. What a battle he fought against cancer. We had a chance to spend some time with him at the ESPY Awards last summer, and there's nobody who battled harder than Craig, and certainly we would add our condolences to his family. And what a very nice and thoughtful tribute from Cam Newton. And we did check when he got to the hotels. First thing we looked at, make sure that he had a tie on. Yeah. Vernon Davis the catch, and I admire the way he responded to that. You know, some people said, wow, did Ron Rivera take it a little too far? He has the rules, certainly, but Cam Newton made to sit out the first possession at Seattle because he didn't wear a tie traveling, which is the team rule. And Cam, to his credit, said, hey, I knew the rule, I didn't do it, and I have no problem with what Coach Rivera did.
I admire what Coach Rivera did. You got rules, you enforce the rules. And Cam will learn from it, be better for it. Holding.
Vernon Davis the catch, but as John said, it is likely coming back.
Holding, number 77, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Sean Laval.
And this Redskin franchise, they just have not played well on Monday Night Football at home. No wonder they weren't happy to see us, Sean. I mean, they have lost 16 out of their last 17 home games, I believe, on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that is correct.
And Kirk Cousins, who has been very productive, he's moved this team up and down the field, but they just have been unable to crack the code, the Carolina code.
Jamison Crowder stripped of the football as it got popped out, I believe, by Kyle Love, and Carolina has it at the 50-yard line.
Effort. I love effort, and I just have always admired the way Sean McDermott has coached. And Coney Ely, number 94, in pursuit. You see Love with the strip, but how many Carolina Panthers converging on the football all night long? And Love, who was cut at the beginning of the season, has been brought back. They've got a lot of depth. Man, do these guys like to play physical football. And it starts with the head man, Ron Rivera, and Sean McDermott, who were trained in Philadelphia by the great Jim Johnson, who was their defensive coordinator, and they resemble them tonight.
Yep. And they resembled the team of a year ago, which led the league in takeaways. 3 takeaways tonight, led the league last year in turnover margin. Sean McDermott said as the young corners got better, covered for longer, that gave the rush more and more time to affect the opposing team's quarterback, and that's really when they started to resemble the defense of last year. Impressive performance. Carolina will go to 6-8 with the win, back-to-back wins off their home win against San Diego last week. And as you said, when the league wants to schedule the Redskins for a home game of Monday Night Football, they may want to say no thanks. 16 out of 17 in the loss column on Monday night at home now for the Redskins. Sports Center with a GMC postgame coming up next. We'll be back in just a matter of seconds to reveal this week's choice for the Gruden Grinder. Thanks for watching Monday Night Football. More in a moment.